Well, hello everyone. You here to show you the orange jacket storytelling activity right here. As you see right here, as a drawing I went ahead and do right here of an orange. And if most people probably thinking about it's like, maybe ways that you can draw orange is, just by starting out with like what you call like kind of like a red pinkish, type color right there, and then I go ahead and draw like which calls like a round circle. And everybody probably think about me, maybe something like abstract, but just add just a little bit of color of oranges right here, of orange color about right here it is. And then knowing about that, if you make one part, you say that just to kind of form that orange round type color, just go ahead and add a orange right here, and then go ahead and add a little bit darker orange right there in the center it is. But basically talking about the orange jacket story is basically that I was talking to about my parents, like talking about is like telling them that basically that yeah, you remember that time from whenever I came home from school and I asked you for a glass of orange juice it was, and like no, I don't. Like, well, I remember I asked you for a glass of orange juice and you gave it to me, but on the other hand, too, that you never asked, of course, for, well, why did you want a glass of orange juice? And then it's like, here we are, 18 years later, and I tell you, right? Tell anybody that's like knowing about, why did I ask my mom or my dad, for a glass of orange juice, asked it for him. It's like, well, maybe because I asked for it, and maybe because of the fact about that, well, maybe that he just wanted what you call is like maybe he wanted to have a glass of orange juice maybe for that certain time, after he comes home from school it was. After he comes home from school, is it knowing about that, maybe he just wants that orange taste, huh? But on your hand too, to talk about with the orange jacket, is I don't know really what I was wearing, but I could probably say about felt like maybe I was wearing oranges already. Is basically that we say the orange jacket story. It basically talks about that whenever I was at school, is that the teacher and I that we were doing some schoolwork, basically talking about the study about how plants grow, and knowing about that they get like what you call is like the types of source of energy, such as what you call that sunlight. I can go write that right here on like say sample of the schoolwork it is for sunlight that is like require sunlight. And then anybody more I could think about with sunlight that really if you may have heard of maybe that with the sun, though, a lot of times that you'll probably think about, anybody probably think about that's what sunglasses are there for. Sunglasses are there, of course, to keep the sun from shining, of course, through the screen. And anybody probably think about that, yeah, even on a school bus. On the school bus that you have it to where, remember, you take a pencil and you did some artworks, of course, you're using a pencil, but let's just say on the school bus, that on the school bus that they would put like what you call special glass inside the school bus to where that the sun would not shine in so bright. Shades, I guess they call them, it's like, power, shades and stuff. But on the other hand too, we probably think about, with the shades and stuff, but suntan lotion, sunglasses, that type of pairs of glasses as you have right here is for shades. But on the other hand too, that knowing about on the school bus, it is that that with the jacket it was that at this time of the year, from the story is basically talking about something that happened around Christmas time. It was I think it was around late November, November of 1994 it was. I'm guessing it was I was thinking maybe about late September, but I think it was around 1994 it was. It may have been 93. I'm trying to remember all these years and months and stuff like that. I just basically would remember it about getting off the school bus, and I asked my mom, of course, and my mom and dad like it's like for a glass of orange juice it was. It's like for what they taught me, of course, at the school is talking about is how plants grow. It's like right here for November. Go ahead and use the month to say that November it is. Anybody ask what day, I could maybe say that maybe it was the 14th, November the 14th of 1994 it was, and I would have probably gotten off the school bus, probably, right around 4:15, I guess. 4:15 is usually is whenever most school kids get out, and Yeah, that and then one time you got off the school bus, I can remember seeing my parents, at home. It's like hanging up the Christmas lights, and of course and then doing some stuff outside, and I asked my mom, of course, he was like, hey, for a glass of orange juice it was, and then knowing about that. They didn't bother to ask what for. It's like they gave me a glass of orange juice, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, it's like here we are, 18 years later, and they never bothered to ask me, that was that something that the nurse told you at the school, or was that something that maybe the doctor told you, or something like that? You had to have your orange juice at a certain time or whatever. But basically, the whole story goes is that whenever I was at school, is talking about how plants grow, is knowing about that maybe that I ought to try it, and then for whatever reason, and then it's kind of another funny story too, is knowing about that by the words of your vocabulary, is knowing about with the, say, for the letter G, it is for the letter G as like g. But anybody may be thinking about with g that my English teacher for language arts, it is, you're telling you it's like so far as G, that G is like g. If you were to be drinking something, it goes by g. But other than that, it's like if you were to drink something, then a lot of times you make the sound of a G. Whenever you make the sound of g whenever you drink something. And then a lot of times, it's like anybody probably think about, you drink a glass of water or something like that. Do you really make a g sound, or do you make a glug sound? But other than that, like knowing about that, people are thinking about the words that maybe rhyme with G, it is maybe with orange it is. So far, maybe not drink, but on the other hand too, that so far with the words, say for G, it is going right here. And so far as every time I think of maybe the word go, and you probably think about go, it's like, okay, go. Like, and if you want to go ahead and maybe complete the content by knowing about whoever can memorize all their times tables, is talk about ready, set, go. And then you're doing all the, say, with the work, and then knowing about that for a number of answers that you can provide within the amount of seconds it is, and it's like ready, set, go. But other than that, you got right there is go, and where go it is, and then you also have such as good. It's like good, and then you also have like what you call like like I mentioned grow. It's like so far with orange, the orange jacket, if you drink a number of oranges it is, and that's like so far the color orange, that they say man helps you grow, and then so far as talking about with orange. Orange, it's like so far as there's a G right there in orange, and of course another word that may have a G in it somewhere is that anybody maybe think about, yeah, well, I just thought about this, say garbage, anybody think the garbage, it's like, what does that say? But other than that, like knowing about it's like garbage, but garbage. But other than that, that like, and then of course that anybody other than like maybe good or God or anything like that, anybody probably think about another word that more likely would rhyme with G or begin with G or anything like that. Anybody probably think about green. It's like green. But other than that, like talking about, anybody probably thinking about that whenever you were in school is talk about with good. But other than that, like a type of word that more like it begins with the G and then ends with the G. And I could probably think about maybe a word that maybe we may have used whenever we were about maybe only 8 months old is gog. Gug. Other than that, like, what does gug mean? And like anybody asks, it's like that the teachers would ask me, write a paper about what do you think this word right here means? Like gug. If a kid were to say that, it's like for the first words it is. It's like talking about like gug. But like gug, and then but knowing about anybody more like I think about write about what do you think that means? It's like so far as the word meaning It's like, look. Look over there. I'm trying to get your attention. Look over there. And I remember that I did not say good God whenever I was young, but did I know? But I remember a couple of words that I would pronounce. Of course, in my head, it's like it talking about like in the way I would say like come here, and I would say more like come here. But other than that, like talk about whenever I was young, I would say like come here. Hey, look over there. But look somewhere, or look right in there. Or like a come on. But anyway, words with that rhyme with G, and anybody may be thinking about that the type of stuff is like knowing about the things that you may learn in school. Is knowing about with me though that every time that the teacher would mention about that you think about the letter G, it is basically talking about the type of I don't know if it's verbs or anything. The type of things that you probably think about the letter G is like A as an apple, and I think E as an Indian or something like that that they would teach you, and knowing about the type of words and stuff like that, such as for language arts that they would teach you in classes. It was, and one of those, of course, was the letter G, and a lot of times the teacher would say that whenever you drink, that a lot of times that you make the sound of a G, such as gug, or something like that. Gug. And then anybody might think about that, maybe ghost or goose, or it's like the silly goose, and like the goose, or if it's like which caused the egg or anything like that. If I think about it, like gug. But talk about it is like for the Orange Jacket story is talking about is like that whenever I was young it was, and then knowing about that is I do like what you call like a school report. You're talking about how plants grow. It is whenever they get a number of minutes, to say of hours of sunlight, it is, and they would grow and sprout and stuff, and knowing about say the glass of orange juice, and knowing about from where it's like you come home and then be to spend time in the backyard it was, and knowing about that be decorating the house. Of course, for Christmas time it was. Like, well, what did he ask for? He asked for a glass of orange juice. And anybody more likely think about what does that usually mean whenever you start craving something, whenever you come home from the doctors or from school, whatever, then maybe you start craving peanut butter. Like every once in a while I crave peanut butter whenever I'm nervous about something or something like that. I may start craving snack chocolates. It is such as peanut butter, and I may start craving, maybe lettuce at times. Anybody probably think about, lettuce. But anyway, draw like, Christmas lights. If there was Christmas lights hanging up, say, on the house, it is. But anyway, that you have, besides gug, that you have it to where they would be working in the back, hanging up Christmas lights. And it's like, asked my parents, like, for a glass of orange juice, and they would give it to me, and I think it was full of nap. And if I can remember right, that whenever I got a glass of orange juice from them, if I can remember right, that I think I wound up drinking the whole thing within about how much time did I use? Basically it's a matter of I think it took me only about 10 minutes, I think. 10 minutes to drink a glass of orange juice. And I would say about on average about 10 minutes is how long it took me to drink a glass of orange juice. And with most people probably think about with their kids and stuff, if they try to get them to sit in front on the breakfast table to eat their scrambled eggs or whatever, is knowing about that it don't usually take only that long just for him to drink his orange juice. But for whatever reason, for whatever he learned at school, is knowing about that if you don't eat your fried eggs and ham or whatever you call it, then that you're not going to be able to watch TV tonight, or maybe watch your favorite TV show it is. But on the other hand too, the way I think about it is that whenever I came home from school that one time, I never told my parents, of course, maybe why I asked for a glass of orange juice, but they may think about it is that maybe he just wanted some orange juice. But on your hand too, that I also thought about it was the fact about that. That I was craving a little bit of that gug, in in the in my voice it was. It's like so far as gug. It's like for whenever you drink, that more likely that you make the sound of which cause maybe from one of these words, such as good or grow or orange. Besides orange, garbage and green it is, and anybody probably thinking about it's like say whatever was with garbage, like the garage, but the garage, or what you say is like the garbage, say made jacket, leather jacket, it's like a good standing quality. But other than that, you got with these words right here for letter G, it is like, well, what did you learn in school today? Well, I learned that more likely, maybe if you leave your lip print on the side of the glass, more likely that then whenever it comes out of the dishwasher, it could be in good shape. It is. It's like Topaz gug. Like is this your glass? Like it might be. Why? Well, because it looks like you got the lip print right there. It's like you from what you call like from whenever you used it last time, from the last drink of what you call like for what you call that story of, you say, the orange jacket story. It's like for the orange jacket, that what exactly were you wearing that day whenever you asked for a glass of orange juice? And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I asked for, and I don't know what I was wearing. I don't know what I was even, what I even had in the book bag or whatever. But on the other hand too, that I'm like, that after you come home from school it is, and I'm like, well, if he's going to ask for a glass of orange juice, that that more likely there probably was no problems up there at the school. The fact about what they actually taught him was the fact about is it orange juice that helps you grow, or is the fact about eating the right, drinking the right type of milk or anything like that, milk or any type of eating your vegetables or anything like that helps you grow. But on your hand to knowing about one thing that more likely maybe any parent would probably say is knowing about one thing that more likely would help you grow, more likely would be, it's like talking about, maybe with some exercise and knowing about being interactive with all the other kids it is. And so far as grow up, man. But anybody probably think about that, so far as the word grow up. Grow up, it's time to grow up. And anybody more likely think about, for grow up it is. It's like talking about with young kids, and like getting the fights, hey, it's time to grow up. But other than that, well, it's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so far as talk about the orange jacket story, is basically what I was wearing, I think was a long sleeve shirt at the time or something like that, a long sleeve jacket. I went ahead and picked a jacket because I think maybe I was wearing a jacket at the time. But other than that, is talking about maybe the reason why I wanted a glass of orange juice was knowing about the type of words, the words I learned in school was not really, it's like anything that maybe related to the bad word it is talking about, really, where'd you learn how to use the word shut up? And like talking about, I didn't teach him that. But other than that, like talking about, it's like we'd see is the words like gug is knowing about extremely curious and knowing about the fact about what the kid learned. But other than that, like you got right there is me, and then anybody probably think about with me though, it's like for the orange jacket story. It's like with me that maybe I don't know if I was wearing any oranges, or if I thought about oranges, but I was thinking about oranges as knowing about that seemed like it was kind of a homework assignment, just knowing about as soon as you get home, you enjoy yourself a glass of orange juice and you write down what you thought about the taste of it. And anybody may be thinking about, besides grapefruit or any type of fruit products it is knowing about, like, it don't taste that good. It is delicious. But other than that, and you have right here is the sun, and like anybody probably think about, with the sun right here, sun be shining. It's like so far as giving you enough energy, giving you the energy it is. But other than that, like talking about, it's like for the orange jacket story, is talk about with the coloring. So far as talking about the activity about knowing about, it's like for those like gug and knowing about the orange jacket story coloring.